Hi everyone, welcome to FinTech Academy. This is Hirsch. Today I want to show you different types of items that can be created in QuickBooks Desktop. I will explain and show with examples the below items. First we'll go through service items, thereafter non-inventory items, thereafter the next will be inventory items, and lastly we'll see inventory assembly items. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so first is service items. Services are intangible things you sell, i.e. you might sell consulting services, gardening services, or professional services. The mighty service item single-handedly manages all types of services, whether you charge by the hour or by the service, with or without associated expenses. Conveniently, QuickBooks displays different fields depending on whether a service has costs associated with income. The next is non-inventory part items. If you purchase products specifically for a job or customer and don't track how many products you have on hand, use non-inventory part items. Unlike inventory part items, this type has at most two account fields. One for income you receive when you sell the part, and another for the expense of purchasing the part in the first place. The next is inventory part items. Use this type for products you purchase and keep in stock for resale. Retailers and wholesalers are the obvious examples of inventory-based businesses. But other types of companies like building contractors may track inventory too. With inventory part items, you can track how much you have, how much they are worth, and when you should reorder. The last one is inventory assembly items. This item type, available only in QuickBooks Premier and Enterprise editions, is perfect when you sell products built from your inventory items. For example, say you stock wine bottles and related products like corkscrews and glasses, and you assemble them into gift baskets. With an inventory assembly item, you can track the number of gift baskets you have on hand, as well as the individual inventory items that go into them. You can also assign a different price to the gift basket than the total of the individual products. Alright guys, so let's have a look in QuickBooks Desktop live in action by creating these different item types. Alright guys, so right over here in QuickBooks Desktop, let's start with the item creations. Now you can either click on items and services on the home window right over here. In the company panel there is items and services, or you can go to lists, and the second line in that is item and item list. Whichever way you want, you can click on that. I'm just going to click on the list and item list. And as soon as I go in there, I will be shown that these are the items which are predefined, right? Starting from the sales tax item, the first one, those are the ones which are created by QuickBooks for us already. And you can see all of those are sales tax items except the first one, which is a service item, which probably I created that. Alright, let's go ahead and create one more item, which is going to be a service item. To do that, we can right click like this anywhere in this area, and we can click on new, or we can click on the bottom there is item, and if we go right on the top there is new. Someone is used to keypad, then they can use Ctrl+N. Let's say I click on new like this, and the first one is type. The first item type is service. So I will select service over here, and we can give a name to the service that we item that we want to create. Now the good thing what QuickBooks Desktop does is a small description provided for this type of item. So it tells use for services you charge for or purchase, like specialized labor, consulting hours, or professional fees. So basically what QuickBooks is telling that you can use this type of item for any of such kind of things that you buy or you are selling. So someone says I want to create an item, let's say labor, and labor is something which I'm going to buy from a subcontractor or get it done from a subcontractor, and then I'm going to top it up and sell it to my customer. Well, yes, you can create something like that, which is called specialized labor, or if you are doing some consulting, you can put that as well over here. All right, so let's start over here, the first one, and I'm just going to name it as labor over here. Okay, and if you want to create a sub item, yes. If you want to put a unit of measure, yes. But this is what is important. This service is used in assemblies or is performed by a subcontractor or partner. So why is this important? Basically, by default, there is only one account that you can assign over here. So it could be an account. Let's say if someone says, I want to sell it, the labor, and I will be using it in the invoice, then yes, you will put that over here. But if you say that I will also get a vendor bill because I might use a subcontractor for that, then you need to put a check mark on this. Only then you will have two parts. So now you have an expense account you can allocate for this item, as well as you have an income account that you can allocate. So this is one of the steps which you need to make sure that if you do need expense and income, then you need to put the check mark. If you do not need, and if you think that, hey, you know what, I'm just going to use it for getting in my invoice, then you can straight away over here also you can put an income account like this, or you can create a new income account, any of those. I'm going to put this check mark just for this particular example, right? And we can also mention a quick let's say description kind of thing over here. I'm going to say subcontractor's expense, for example, or I can mention labor expense, whatever we want. As soon as I hit the tab, what's going to happen is this particular description which I mentioned over here, it's going to go and sit over here as well. If there is a predefined cost, we can put that over here. Let's say the cost is going to be $40 like that, and if there's an expense, you can put that. Let's say we want to create an expense, let's say cost of labor. If it's not there, of course QuickBooks will allow you to create right over here. If I press enter over here, it's going to tell me account not found. Did you want to set this up? And I'm going to click on setup. As soon as I do that, automatically QuickBooks is going to put that in the account type expense, right? Of course, you can decide if you want to take it to, for example, cost of goods sold, right? Then yeah, you can move it over there. Cost of labor is the name that we have given. And if I want to assign the tax code, then I can do that. Let's say I want to say exempt, there is no tax on that. Or if there is a tax, let's say if you say I'm going to get a bill from this contractor, there will be a tax, then assign the tax over here. So whatever is your option, right, you can decide that. Let's say I'll let it be there, and I'll say save and close. Now right over here, I want to say that, okay, my sale price is, let's say $60 like this over here, and I want to say that, okay, it'll go and sit under an income account. I need to provide an income account. You can select any one for, let's say in this particular example, I'm just going to stick with the very basic, which is sale. So that's it. We have provided the information that we want to, and if I click OK over here, there you go, my item is created, labor, and then I have given description. I put it under the type, which is service. We can also see there's an account that is set up over here. So guys, that's how you create a labor item. Pretty straightforward and simple one. Now let's say we have created a service item. Now we want to create another one, which is the non-inventory. So I'll go back to item and select new over here. Once I click on new, in the type, the second one is non-inventory part. Let's say I'm going to click on that. As soon as I do that, there is again a small little description, which is pretty valuable. Used for goods you buy but don't track, like office supplies or materials for a specific job that you charge back to the customer. So basically this is, as a type suggests, non-inventory, so where you don't track the quantity of how much you have on hand. For that purpose this item is. So for example, let's say generally if you look at a company which is dealing in products, right, and let's say if they say we are making products, we assemble products, There are various items that are used, but some of the items we don't want to track, or it's difficult to track because their value is pretty small, but there are other big items which are of higher value and we want to track that. One of those such kind of items which I have came across is nuts and bolts. Like in many companies you will see nuts and bolts are being used, but the value of that is so small and it is hard to keep a track of nuts and bolts that they might want to put it as a non-inventory part. Well, if you have done that, yes, certainly it is a possibility. Then again, there is an option here. If this item is used in assemblies or purchased for a specific customer job. Let's say I'm going to mention over here, and I'm just going to put over here a description repeating from the item name, and I'm going to say that yes, this is a purchase of item which probably I'm going to use it in the assembly. Expense account I want to allocate, and let's say if you want to say cost of goods sold, I want to put it under that straight away as an expense. If there's a preferred vendor, you can put it over here, and we can mention over here if there is any cost and sell. So let's say the cost price is maybe we'll say 5 cents like this, and we can also mention if there is a sell price. If we directly sell it, there is no possibility, then you can skip that, but if there is one, then yeah, you can provide that. I'll put it under a simple account, which is a sales account like this, and if I click OK, what is going to happen is that this item is also going to be created, which is going to be non-inventory part. So I have created a service item and I have created a non-inventory part item. Now the next one, if we want to create, right, which is the inventory part that is not activated by default, we have to activate that in QuickBooks Desktop. So once we activate, only then we'll be able to see right over here. I'm going to come out of this, click cancel, and from this prompt I will go ahead and activate the inventory part type item so that we can create that. Alright guys, so let's continue with that. As we saw that inventory part is currently not active, so let's go ahead and activate that. For that, we'll have to go to edit, and once we are in edit, we go down to preferences. Once in preferences, on the left you will be able to see items and inventory. We'll have to click on company preferences, and the first line in there is inventory and purchase orders are active. We need to put a check mark on that like this. So as soon as I do that, yes, it becomes active. Now if you are going to use the unit of measure, make sure that that is also active like this over here, and we select single unit / measure per item over here, and then I'm going to click OK. As soon as I do that, what is going to happen is QuickBooks is going to give me a quick message. QuickBooks must close all its open windows to change this preference. Whenever you make a change in company preferences, you will get this message. So we just have to click OK on that. QuickBooks is going to close all of the screens on the back, which it did completely as of now, and even the home page gets closed. So first I'm going to get my home page back by clicking on home on the left over here. There you go, it is back, and then I will go to items and services. Once I'm over here in items and services, now I can create my inventory part type item. Let's have a look if it's available, yes or no. So let's go to item, and in that, if I click on new, once again the same place. So within the type, that's where we were. Service was already there. There you go, inventory part has kicked in, inventory assembly has also kicked in, and non-inventory part has been pushed down. So previously these two guys were not there, the inventory part and inventory assembly, but now as they came in, the non-inventory goes down. So once again, I'm going to click on the inventory part so that we can create some items over here. So how did we activate the inventory part? Go to edit, preferences is the key, and then on the left you go to items and inventory. Within that you must click on company preferences. That's where the first line you will see inventory and purchase orders are active. I have already activated, so I'm just going to click on cancel, otherwise I would have clicked OK. There you go, we are back to inventory part type item. Let's create a few items over here. Now let's take an example that we will be assembling chairs. So we are in a business of making chairs, right? And let's create items which are related to that. So we created already labor, we also added nuts and bolts. So let's say to make a chair we need a few more items. So one of them is backrest. Okay, so let's put that over here. The unit of measure, I'm going to click on the small down arrow, and there is each. Now if you need a different kind of unit of measure, you can always click on add new, and you will be given options that which one you want. You can select that. I'm going to stick with this each over here. In the purchase, I'm going to just type in a quick description which is similar to the item name. Let's say this backrest is going to cost us $5 from the vendor who we purchase. There is a HST component. Assuming that, it will go to cost of goods sold. We are okay with that as well. And right over here on the other side, we don't plan to sell it directly, but let's say if we do sell it directly, then we just want to give a sell price. It is not mandatory, but I'm just going to put it over here and link it to an income account over here. Now that is so far what we had seen also in the service and non-inventory items. One part which is the purchase, or from where you're going to get it. Over there the account was expense, and here it is COGS account, which is cost of goods sold. On the other side it is sales. The thing, or the part that is different in the inventory part type item is this area. Here it shows that we need to give an asset account, which QuickBooks has automatically assigned. That means it is going to go and sit in the inventory asset account. Remember, it's an asset for the business, right? And that's why it's automatically linked to that type. So why is it so? Well, I'm going to go a little bit back over here. Next to the inventory part, there is a one-line description. Use for goods you purchase, track as inventory, and resell. So basically there are three functions. One you purchase, which is your COGS account. One you track as inventory, that is your inventory asset account. And one is you resell, which is your sales account. And that's why we have to provide three accounts over here. COGS account, the asset account, and the income account. COGS is when you purchase, right? Now let's say when you are doing an inventory part type item, if you purchase something, it will automatically be an asset for the business. So if I say I'm gonna buy, let's say 500 backrests for the chairs, that will go and sit as an asset because it is in my shop floor or my production or my warehouse, wherever it is, but it is an asset for the business. So QuickBooks will automatically put it over here. And once we use it out, for whichever way, if you sell it, then of course it's going to hit the sales, and corresponding it is also going to hit on your COGS account with respect to the amounts that we have provided over here. If you're going to use in assembly, yes, the inventory still be affected. It will get reduced as soon as we complete that. So we will do that momentarily, but this is why there are three different accounts related and connected to this particular one line over here. That is the inventory part type item. If you want, you can also put in the minimum and max reorder. Very valuable if you are going to do live inventory. And then if you have any of the on-hand stock, that means like, you know, whatever quantity on whatever date. So let's say if you plan to start as on a specific date, then if you have inventory on hand, let's say if I want to start from 1st of July and I already have 50 backrests sitting in my stock, then I'll just put over here and I'll put the value over there. Let's say we don't have any. I'm letting it be sitting at 0. I'm just going to click OK like this. My item is created over here. We can see backrest with just a quick description similar, and here is where the change is. It shows this is the inventory part type item. All right, let's create one more, because if we want to assemble a chair, we will need few things over here. So let's say I'm going to go back to inventory part, and our chairs is going to have an handle. So I'm going to say I need handles on the side, and again we will assign the unit as each. Handles is I'm going to put over here. Let's say when we buy handles, they are $10. I'm going to mention that over here. The sale price of, let's say, that is 20, and sales is the income account. Pretty straightforward. Going over here, I'm not going to change the asset account. Let it be the way in which it is. I've assigned a COGS account, I assigned the asset account, and I assigned a sales account. So I'm going to say click OK like this. There you go. That is also created. Let's say I'm going to create one more item, clicking on new again and selecting inventory part. All right, let's say we will need cushion for where we can sit on, right? So let's put that, and again the quantity, sorry, the unit is going to be each. I'm going to assign that in the description. You can put in that or any longer description, and the cushion is going to cost us $8, put it that way. So I'm going to put that amount over here, and we want to in case if we sell it, we can put it to that price over here. And again, straightforward, I created this item, click OK on that. We have created a few inventory part-time items. Let's create one more and the last one, so that thereafter we can make a chair, right? Let's say inventory part again, and I'm going to say we'll need an iron rod kind of thing. Okay, let's put that, and we want to maintain the stock of that, and this thing is also $10. I'm going to mention that over here. We want to knock it out for 20, again under the income account of sales, and I'm going to click OK. So there you go, we have a few items created. Now I missed out on the description over here, you guys can see that. No worries, I can right click on that item and go to edit item like this, and I will go and type in iron rod like this. There you go, it will be updated on the other side as well, as I use the tab key, which is a very valuable key when you're using QuickBooks Desktop, just in case if you're used to keypad. So right over here I have few items for inventory parts, I have a non-inventory item, I have service items. Now, if you guys recall, I'm just going to edit this item, which is nuts and bolts. It's a non-inventory part item. I did not assign a unit of measure to that. Well, it's not mandatory, but let's say if I do want to assign it, because anyway the stock is not going to be maintained, but the thing is that currently it shows 0.05 watt. Same thing over here, 15 cents watt. Rather, I will just put in, click on the down arrow and click on each. Now it has more meaning, that 5 cents per each and 15 cents per each. And I click OK. There you go. Now the unit is assigned to that as well. All right, guys. So that is how we can create the inventory part type item. All right, folks. So let's go through our next step, which is going to be creating an inventory assembly item. If I want to do that, I need to click on again in item in the bottom, or right click anywhere in this area, of course, and click on new. And this time I'm going to select in this over here inventory assembly. So as I select that, I'm gonna have to give a name. So I can give a name that I want, let's say special chair or basic chair, or whichever model that you want to call. I'm just gonna give it a title like basic chair. Okay, unit of measure I'll assign is going to be each. Now I can put a description over here, that what kind of chair is it, right, or what it helps. Let's say basic office chair, like this, and then you can just mention some more description, nice and fancy, right? So comfy. And then I'm going to go to this area, which is bill of materials. Now the COGS account is already there, we'll come back to that later. There is a sales price, we'll come back there. Income account, will come back there later. But first let's see what happens over here. Where does our chair go? So first I'm going to say I need a backrest, right? So automatically I have selected that item. The type is there, inventory part. The cost has came because you already mentioned. The quantity, how much you need for this particular product. I'm going to say one backrest is enough. The total is $5. Next I'm going to select handles, for example, right, and right over here $10. So I'm going to say I'll need 2 of those. Of course, we don't want to give only on one side, so there you go, that is there. Next I'm going to say that okay, I'll need a cushion as well, so I'm going to select that. 1 is enough, so the cost is building over here. We are already at $33. Next I'm going to say that I need that iron rod. Okay, 1 is enough for that, so that is also getting in. All of these are inventory part items. If I scroll a little bit up, you'll be able to see that. Next, let's say I want to add nuts and bolts. Okay, there you go, which is a non-inventory part item, and let's say I will need about 25 of those. There we go. So I added that, so the cost of that is also put in over here. And labor will definitely be needed, so I will select labor, and it is a service item, and let's say $40 is what I've assigned over here. Okay, and let's say I'm gonna say to make one chair I will need 4 hours of or 4 of the quantity. Now I didn't put the unit, so automatically it is at 160 over here, 40 times 4, but I could have gone and completed that. But for now, let's say, because we're not selling that, right, so we are just going to mention over here 4, and QuickBooks has done the calculation. So total bill of material cost is $204.25. We can see that. The good thing what we have over here is, if you look at this type, it has inventory part in there, it has non-inventory, and it has service, all of them together in one. If I am on this item and if I click on edit item, it's going to take me directly to that item over here. So basically, you know, you are over here, and if I did want to assign a unit, I can click on it like this. I can select from here the unit that I'm looking for, click on next like this, and once I have done that, QuickBooks is just telling me that is an add-on feature, right? You can certainly complete that over here like this, and you know, assign it to that part item I created and click OK on that. So basically, you know, everything you can do right from here. Full view as well, if you want, you can get that. I have my cost ready, $204.25. Now if I go a little bit back over here, QuickBooks is going to ask me that what is the cost. If it is, let's say $204.25, yes, that is the bill of material, but my actual cost with other stuff coming in, I want to say it's $250. There you go. I put that, and I want to mention over here that I'm going to sell this chair for, let's say, $350. I'm going to put it to the sales, which is right over here. That's the income account, and I have created a bill of material ready with using the inventory part type item, used for inventory items that you assemble from other inventory items and then sell. So that's what is the whole thing which I created. There is asset account, which is already mentioned over here. If I have a quantity on hand, yes, I need to assign at the date on which I have that. Let's say for now we don't have any. I'm just going to click OK over here. As soon as I complete that, you will be able to see that yes, we have now added one more type of item, which is the inventory assembly. So we have a non-inventory, inventory assembly, we have inventory part, and we also have the service items. So guys, we created all these items, right? And if you see over here in the unit of measure, each of them have a unit of measure that is assigned. The quantity zeros are shown in the ones which are inventory part and the inventory assembly. Non-inventory, we don't maintain the quantity, so it's not shown over here, or the service items. And this is how you can create different kind of inventory, non-inventory, inventory assembly, and service items in QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop. Alright guys, so that was about different type of items, how to create them in QuickBooks Desktop. In my probably future videos, I'm going to show how to use that inventory assembly item and create, let's say, a build assembly. So stay tuned for that. If you found this video helpful, please like our video and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Also, let me know in comments what would you like to see in future videos, i.e. Hirsch, I want to see this video, or Hirsch, can you make a video on this topic for QuickBooks Desktop or QuickBooks Online. Alternatively, you can also visit us at fintechsolutions.ca for our courses. Thanks for stopping by.